It's like, this would look so much better with lashes, but I'm not going anywhere, so I don't feel like putting on no lashes. Hey guys, Giselle here. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, thank you for subscribing. I have been getting a couple new subscribers recently within the past few weeks, although I haven't been posting. So thank you so much for subscribing to my channel, and I hope you like this video and other videos, and I hope you like me. So today's video is going to be talking about some of the basic building blocks of our hair. Like I talked about in my last video, I really just want to get into like the basic essentials of what makes up our hair to help us make smarter, better decisions for ourselves and for our hair, so nobody is struggling with this whole natural hair thing. I just want to help people make it easier for yourselves, and also I'm making it easier for myself. So yeah. So first thing I want to touch on is hair density. Hair density is the amount of single hair strands you have per square inch on your head. Yes, it's like exact. So for example, I get a lot of comments that my hair is very thick, that I have a lot of hair, my hair is luscious and very thick. So to a certain extent that is true. I do have a lot of hair because I have high density. But when somebody says your hair is thick, they really can't see the thickness of your individual strands. So if somebody says that your hair is thick, they're just referring to that you have high density. You have a lot of hair packed on your head. So there are three categories of density. There's low density, medium density, and high density. And basically it just pertains to the certain amount of hair strands you have per inch on your scalp. So low density means that you can pretty much see your scalp pretty visibly without having to part your hair any sort of way. Medium density is, you may have to separate your hair a little bit to see your scalp, but it's not very difficult to see your scalp through your hair. High density is basically you cannot see your scalp without physically really trying to maintain a part. So the best way to figure this out is to just let your hair be dry. First of all, you have to do this on dry hair. That's the best way to do it. And just look at it from all angles and see if you can see your scalp basically. So I can't see my scalp just doing this. Now if I, for example, go like this and have a little part. So I have my hair like this. It's kind of parted like this. So I'm going to diagnose myself as having high density hair because I have to physically part my hair and hold it down in order for me to see my scalp. Really, I don't see my scalp much. I don't really know what it looks like. The only really part I see from my scalp is right here where I keep my part. This is like my permanent part that I always wear my hair in the middle part. So the reason that knowing your hair density is important is it will help you choose what type of products would be best for you. So for high density hair like myself, I know that I have a lot of hair strands per square inch. So the methods that I use to apply my product to cleanse my hair, those all pertain to my hair density. So because my hair is so thick, or because I have so much hair, I have to part my hair just to wash my hair. So I wash my hair in 4 sections, and then I'll separate those sections more as I go along, because it will get just tangled a lot easier because there's so many hair strands packed, so closely together. With product styling, I use a lot of gels and heavy products to really just help with the clumping of my curls. I like a lot of curl volume, so I like my curls to be clumped together. So because I have such high density hair, I really focus on really parting my hair when I'm cleansing it and when I'm styling it, section by section to really get the product distributed in there. Versus, if I were to have low density hair, I probably wouldn't need to part it as much because there is so little hair packed in per square inch. So knowing your hair density helps you with your product selection, and also how you apply your product and how you care for your hair, and things like that. So it's important to know this aspect of your hair to help you kind of determine how to figure out your routine and things like that. So my next topic is hair texture, and this is something that is kind of confusing because it gets thrown around there and confused with curl pattern. So hair texture or hair width basically talks about the individual strands of your hair. This has nothing to do with your curl pattern. Hair texture basically has to do with how wide your individual hair strand is. And those categories are fine, medium, and coarse or thick. So after reading a couple articles about hair texture and hair width, I think the best way to determine this is to basically just take a hair strand and kind of hold it up to the light and see how you would define it. So I've read that for fine hair texture, hair width, it's really a transparent, you can almost see through your hair, and it's almost kind of like baby hairs, how like thin they are, or like maybe like the hair on your arm. Well, if you have, I don't know, I kind of have like thin hair on my arm. They're like soft and they're very thin. So I would describe fine hair as the hair on my arm personally. But so if you can kind of see through it a little bit, if it looks very, very thin, and if it's very fragile and easy to break, then you may have a fine hair texture. If you hold it up to the light and you can, it's not like too fine, it's not too thin or too thick, you can like see it, but it's not like crazy thick, then you probably have medium texture. And if you can like physically like really feel it in between your fingers, and like when you hold it up to the light, it's like thick, like your hair strand is thick, girl. And if it feels kind of like wiry almost, then you probably have coarse or a thick hair strand texture. So for me, I am going to say that I have medium thickness. I can feel it between my fingers when I hold a hair strand between my fingers, but it doesn't feel like super wiry or anything like that. I don't know if you guys can even see this. And I did not pull this out of my head. I washed my hair yesterday, so there's some hairs in the bathroom, so I just picked one from there because I'm not going to pull hair in my head to test something. Hello. So your hair texture is also another very essential building block to help you kind of figure out how your hair behaves and how your hair will react to certain things. With medium hair textures, basically you're in the middle, so you have a little bit more elasticity. Your hair can withstand more. It can withstand like some damage, so like some chemical damage a little bit, it can withstand to a certain extent, and it can also withstand some heat as well. And also medium hair texture can hold styles a little bit better. So all of these little factors that determine our hair, our porosity, our hair texture, our hair density, and more kind of help us build a sort of product regimen. And there are a lot of stereotypes with hair that are not necessarily true, like coarse hair is necessarily associated with kinkier curl patterns, which is, yes, there are some out there, but that's not always the case. You can have fine hair and have a kinkier curl pattern, a tighter curl pattern. So you may have to adjust your products because your hair strands are so fine, they get weighed down very easily, but you have very tight curls, and you may have low porosity because your hair is not absorbing moisture. So you have to use heavy moisture products. So it's all like a balance. It's like you need to know all of these little components to help build your hair profile. Basically, your hair profile is all of these little components put together, and to help you choose products that are right for your hair, to know what your hair needs, like for real. It's not just about how it looks, it's about how it feels, how it's reacting, and things like that. So all in all, I hope this video helped in some way to let you know some of the basic building blocks of hair and how to help you categorize your hair. As always, I recommend going to a curly hair stylist and basically asking them all of these things just to kind of verify that information. If you kind of figured it out for yourself but you want verification, definitely go to somebody and just for sure to know for sure what it is that you have going on your head. I also hope that this helped kind of categorize me as it relates to you guys. So anybody out there that thinks we have the same hair and that you're following anything that I'm recommending, just so you know, I have medium porosity, high density, medium textured hair. So those are so far my three sort of building blocks that I have going on for myself. So that's something that you need to keep in mind. Like if you don't have kind of these same similar building blocks, then we're not fit for each other. And that's okay, because that's what hair is. Hair is different for everybody. So yeah, I hope that this helped. You know, I will never claim to be a professional. I will never claim to be an expert on anything. I am doing my own research and then coming to you guys with the sort of conclusions that I have found, and like the hypotheses that I have made. So I will leave some links to some articles that I believe to be credible. I've been like reading a lot of different articles and stuff like that, and also I'm gonna leave links to curly hair professionals that I follow for inspiration and for information. And until next time, I will see you in my next video, whatever that will be. And thank you so much for watching, and I hope to talk to you later. Bye.